A former Broussard police officer is accusing the city's police chief of sexual harassment. That former officer says those acts of harassment include shirtless Snapchats, messages requesting, quote, scandalous photos, end quote, and other messages laden with sexual innuendo.
After he kept on, I just kind of told him straight up I'm not comfortable with it and it wasn't going to happen. And he ended up saying, oh, that's all right, but keep this between us.
Taylor Jones joined the Broussard Police Department in September 2019. He says Chief Brandon Decou started harassing him in November 2020. According to Jones, it started after Decou gave him a lead on a case he solved.
He later texted me like the next day on November 17th saying about how I did a great job and I'm welcome for the tip. He later clarified and said he was making a joke with the tip comment about things outside of work.
Jones says he brushed off Decou's innuendo as a joke. Then, Jones says, Decou continued to send him messages and a topless photo.
Later that same day, he added me on Snapchat and then sent me a picture where you could clearly tell he was naked. Shortly after that, he sent me another message saying, "You're just going to leave me on red?" I just told him I was driving and I forgot to get back to him.
Jones also says Decou asked him to send shirtless photos of himself.
Kept saying my wife would be all right with it. Maybe he should ask her if she'd be all right with it.
Jones gave Capel copies of the text and Snapchat screenshots. According to those images, Decou sent the bulk of the messages on November 17th and 18th. The screenshots also apparently showed Decou communicating with Jones via Snapchat on November 25th and December 4th. Then, Decou apparently sent one final shirtless photo on December 25th.
He's my boss. I didn't want to just tell him no right out and possibly have to deal with that at work. So I kind of tried to skirt away from it, tried to change the subject a little bit, didn't really answer him much.
Jones resigned from the police department on March 29th. He says on that same day, he gave copies of the screenshots to the Broussard mayor's office and to other high-ranking officials in the Broussard Police Department. Jones also says he contacted the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. He says they denied his claim.
The person I talked to said since he stopped asking for pictures after I told him no, then it wasn't really theirs to deal with. It didn't constitute sexual harassment. It wasn't their job to work on it.
According to Jones, 2 other officers have come forward with their own allegations against Decou. Jones says he expects more to come to light.
Ever since this dropped, more and more people have been coming forward with similar stories. If you have experienced it, come forward with it. The more people we have, the better.
We should note Jones is the only officer who has publicly come forward with allegations against Decou. The other officers who have made allegations have so far remained anonymous. Chief Decou spoke with one of our Town Square Media colleagues. He says the allegations include a lot of inaccuracies. However, he says he can't comment specifically on the case because it's under investigation. We also spoke with Mayor Ray Bork. He tells Capel that he can't comment on the matter because it's an ongoing personnel matter that's under investigation. Bork says city officials will release a statement on the matter Monday morning. As for Jones, he says this experience has killed his passion and drive for law enforcement. He says he doesn't plan to ever return to that line of work. Ian Ozan, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.